Hello everyone, welcome to Jacqs. Thank you for joining me today. We are doing a project share and tutorial and we are creating coasters. So here is a supply list of items that I use to create these coasters, and it makes a quick gift. First, we're going to start out by using blank 4x4 coasters. I purchased these from Amazon, and I'm going to paint them with acrylic paint from Craftsmart, and it is espresso, but you can certainly use any other color that you might have in your stash. So I'm using a sponge applicator to apply the paint. I'm going to apply it evenly over one side of the coaster. I will note that you need to be careful about any finger marks because it will show through on the paint. So just make sure that you brush them out and get an even coat over the one side. And please excuse the background noise. My son is in the other room and his door is shut and I can still hear him plain as day. So I apologize for that. So once you have the back side of the coaster painted, you want to then paint the edges of the coaster all the way around. The reason we're doing this is because once it's all together, you can see the sides of the coaster, so you wouldn't want them to be white. Okay, next we're going to apply Mod Podge to the back side once the coaster has dried from the acrylic paint. Again, I'm using a sponge applicator. And remember, you do not need to paint the other side of the coaster, just the one side. I'm applying Mod Podge here so that it seals in the paint and also then protects the paint and the coaster itself, since this will be used with potentially liquids. If you put a coffee mug on it and there's a spill, it will help protect it. Okay, next we are going to use, I'm using my Simple Stories template that I purchased. This is a 4x4 template that you can see through. Sorry for getting my head in the way. It was actually hard to center it in the template while doing the video. So once you have it aligned to where you like it, then I'm really just using a pen, but you could certainly use any other type of marker or pencil to mark the 4x4 area that you want to cut out. So once we have that done, I'm going to use my Fiskars Precision Cutter, which I've already done a preview on, and that's in my videos if you would like to go back and watch that. So we're cutting this down to a 4x4. This is actually the placemat that I had already cut, 2 of them off, and this was one that we are using here. It actually cut fairly good, but there was a piece of sticker on the back side of it, and that kept getting hung up in the blade. So that's what you see there. Otherwise, the placemat cut really well on the Fiskars. So now we have the back side and the front all cut. Now we will need to adhere the two together. As you see, I'm taking that sticker off only just because I'm anal and I have to remove it. So we're going to make sure that it all fits together. Even though we, use the template, it's still good to double check. And I'm using a Permapaque pen, and it is a copper color. And I'm using the wide end here to paint the edges of the coaster, of the placemat, actually, so that, again, getting rid of that stark white color. Remember, this is a permanent marker, so try not to get it on the actual side of the design. Okay, next I'm going to use Fabri-Tac to adhere the placemat to the coaster. Now, what you'll see is that I'm adhering it to the side that is painted. When I first did this, I actually painted both sides, but you don't need to do that. You only need to paint one side. So that's why in this particular film, you will see there's paint on both sides. It was my first time doing it, and I found that it wasn't necessarily needed. I also rounded the edges of the placemat that I cut down to the 4x4 size. I don't have a video of that. I used just I think a 1/2 inch corner chomper and cut down the edges. So you see that it matches onto the coaster perfectly. So once I had the adhesive down, then I kind of just made sure everything was aligned properly, got rid of any excess glue. I would also note that you want to make sure you don't get any adhesive on the back or the front, because it does seem to stain the material. Okay, so once that's adhered, I'm going to use the brand Duct, which actually used to be duct tape. This is their real corkboard tape, and it is really great, you guys. I don't know if you've ever used this or not. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby when they were having those great sales, but I really like this a lot. So I cut this down to be about 3 3/4 inch. I cut it 2 times and then adhered that to the back side of the coasters. Here I'm just going through and showing you each of the coasters a little bit more close up. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video, and thank you once again for joining me.